Hello and welcome to Dad Got This. We're into the tough questions like, why am I reviewing another robot vacuum cleaner? And why do vacuums make good spies? That second one's easy, because they're good at gathering dirt. I reviewed a couple of robot vacuums now. And in my last review, I mentioned something about the last one I did from Eureka. I said, I wish this didn't have a bag. And Eureka said, we got this. And I said, hey, that's my thing. After that, they said, hey, let us send you the Eureka E20 Plus. It's bagless, it's a vacuum, it's a mop. It does everything you want it to do, and it solves the one gripe you had in your last review. So I said, okay, send it over. Let's take a look. And this is it, the Eureka E20 Plus. Let's go ahead and unbox it, and then we'll go over some features.
To be upfront, I didn't pay for the unit, and I don't have to send it back. Everything was really packed well. No issues at all. Standard unboxing procedure.
And there you go. This is the Eureka E20 Plus. It is a little bit different from the last one I did. Much smaller base station, which is kind of cool. A little smaller footprint. The vacuum looks very similar to the other one. This unit comes with what looks like a mop pad attachment, 2 little spinning brushes, a cleaning tool, some paperwork. That's it. This is the main unit here. We'll flip it over. It does have another mop attachment already pre-attached, so this seems to be a backup, a user manual, and a quick start guide. I love quick start guides. Way easier than having to dive into the whole user manual. I'm gonna skip a few steps because I don't want to position the base just yet. I want to leave it here for the video. We're gonna skip ahead to step 4, which is install the brushes. They are color-coded. This is purple. And as you can see on the robot, there is a purple one over here. I'm gonna assume it just clicks on. You got a red one. Brushes is installed. That's it for install. Really easy. Before we go ahead and position our base station and kind of get into the app and everything, let's go over a couple of features of the Eureka E20 Plus. This is a high suction unit. It has 8,000 PA. I'm not exactly sure what that PA rating is, but that is a high rating that is close to regular like stick vacuum suction ratings. So this should have plenty of suction power. Your base station, there's a little lock on the top, flip it, pull your handle up, and you can pull your entire canister out. This makes it super easy for cleaning and emptying. To empty your base station, you would hit this little button, it opens a trap door, pour it out, close it up, Bob's your uncle. At the back of the unit here, we have a little door. If you pull it down, it's gonna access a filter. It's washable, easy to maintain. On this unit, the water tank is actually all in the robot. We're gonna pull here. On the top here, you'll see another door for another filter. Right here, there's a little thing that says open and has water drops on it. And that is where you would fill it with water. And just slides right in there. This unit has the anti-tangle technology where this silicone brush stops the hair tangling, and it also has an automatic cutting system through the base station and the way this robot works where it'll kind of detangle the hair for you itself. That's a big feature for me. My wife and my daughter both have long hair. It gets everywhere, and the robot vacuum sucks it up, and I used to have to cut it off my old vacuums. It was really annoying. This, you don't have to do that. This unit has advanced obstacle avoidance, thanks to LiDAR and a couple of other cool features built into this robot. It can detect items, it knows what they are, it'll avoid them. It's really pretty smart. It also has night vision, so if it goes underneath something or gets in a very dark area, it can still tell what's going on and not ruin things. Grab cord, rip it out of the wall, that kind of stuff. Not fun if it happens. You can also set this unit to vacuum and mop at the same time. You don't have to have it go out and vacuum first and then go mop. It can do both at one time. Speaking of mopping, this unit has a liftable mop. It goes up to 10 millimeters so that the mop lifts up if it's going over a carpeted area and it doesn't get your carpeted area all wet. A lot of the cheaper models, they don't have that, and it's actually kind of annoying. They just drag their wet mop all over your carpets or your rugs, and it makes them wet and kind of sometimes dirtier than they were in the first place. One question I get a lot from people about the robot vacuums is, can it clean multiple floors? Most of them I've had to say no, they don't work well with a multi-floor house. They're like, why can't I just pick it up and put it on the second unit and let it go? Well, guess what? This one can remember up to 4 maps for 4 different floors. So you can do multi-level cleaning with this unit. It has all your go-to features for a robot mop, like advanced mapping, zone setups, no-go zones, carpet zones, all that kind of stuff. Let's go ahead and place our base station and kind of get everything going.
Now that we got the base unit installed, plugged in, the first thing it told me to do was to fill the water tank. So I did that. And now we have to let it charge for 6 hours before the first use. The next thing we have to do is download the Eureka Robot app. You can either get that from the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. I have it because I already have a Eureka Robot in my house. Once you have it, go ahead and open it up. Now your app is going to look a bit different than mine because I already have a Eureka Robot installed in mine. You won't have one. We're going to hit the plus button. We're going to add a device. It already found my Eureka E20 Plus. We are going to hit add, give it access to your wireless network, and let it go through the setup process. We get to name our robot. I'm going to name this one R2E2. I'm a little bit of a Star Wars nerd. And let it finish its setup. For your first run, it's going to do a map, and you want to kind of be as clean and clutter-free as possible on this first run to give it its best chance to map the house accurately. So pick up as many little things off the floor as you can. You're not going to need to worry about this in the future because of the obstacle avoidance, but you want to give it its best chance to make a really good map. Let's go ahead and let it make a map. All you got to do is hit start. And with that, R2E2 was off on its first adventure. This little fellow roamed around cleaning and mapping. Here it is in the laundry room, which was almost pitch black. No problems. The E20 Plus has no issues rolling over transitions and making its way around my house. It even found some of that hair I was talking about. Once the unit was done mapping and cleaning, it made its way back to the base station, and as you can see, it performed an automatic hair cutting.
All right, some final thoughts. I happen to have quite a unique perspective on these things because I've had multiple robots, and I currently have one of the J15 Pros from Eureka, their flagship model here in my house that I've been using for quite some time now. How does this unit compare to the flagship model? Well, first thing, it's a lot cheaper, like a third of the cost. That has got to be a big factor when you're considering the features versus the cost. This has most everything that my flagship model has, minus a few things. It doesn't have the camera where you can just kind of monitor it and control it via remote control and run it around the house like a remote control car. It doesn't have the big water tanks built into the base station that just cycles clean and dirty water through the robot, cleans the mop pads, and does a whole bunch of that stuff. On the E20 Plus, you're kind of in charge of emptying and filling that tank after each mop, and the mop pads, you have to take them off and clean them on your own. But it is a third of the cost. I keep saying that. Another difference between the two is how it mops. The J15 has mop like pads that spin and scrub and put pressure, and it actually does a really, really good job mopping. The E20 has your standard pad and drag setup, does a pretty good job, but it's not as good as the scrubbing of the J15. But it still cleans the floors really well. As far as vacuuming goes, I can't see any difference between the two. They both clean up everything. They both get all the dust and dirt off my floors. My floors are really clean using both of them. I can't say there's really that much of a difference in the vacuuming between the two of them. Their obstacle avoidance are really good on both. None of them eat anything or have any of the problems where it used to 4x4 over my vacuum scales and some stools in my kitchen. It's quite annoying, but these, they don't do that. Their obstacle avoidance is on point. In the end, it's going to come down to what you need and how much you want to spend. Do you mop a lot? Do you get really messy, dirty floors that need like scrubbing all the time? If you do, I'd say save a couple bucks and get the high-end J15 Pro. But if you just mop every once in a while and you really just want a really good robot vacuum that automatically empties itself, you don't have to buy any bags for, but can also mop in a pinch, I'd say save the money and get the E20. It just really depends on what your use case scenario is. If you want more information on either unit, the E20 Plus or even that J15, I'll throw a link down to the video where I reviewed the J15, and I'll throw links to the Eureka website on both units in the description below. If you are enjoying this content, please do the likey subscribe stuff. YouTube loves it when you leave a like. I love it when you leave a comment. I answer just about every comment in my comment section. If you really want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. You get all kinds of benefits, but if you can't, please just subscribe. It would really help me out. With all that out of the way, I guess there's only one question left to answer. What do you call a janitor in space? A vacuum cleaner. Yeah, pretty bad. Dad may tell horrible dad jokes, review robot vacuum cleaners, but one thing Dad will never do is an outro. So that's it. Bye.
This is the part where I thank all of my members. You guys are the absolute best. Thank you so much for your support, and rock on. I don't know why I said rock on, but rock on.